Maxey with his speed, McCain with his feel and his shooting ability. Plug Flagg in with those two guys, never mind whatever would happen with Joel Embiid at that point. That's the dream, is pairing him with guards like that who can be those guys who share the creation responsibility. Now, with that said, I think there's always a possibility that somebody sneaks up and maybe takes the number one spot. Maybe there's a team that ends up preferring somebody else. Are there any other guys this year among the top prospects? Ace Bailey from Rutgers is ranked 2 on a lot of people's boards. Dylan Harper, 6'6" guard, also at Rutgers, ranked 3rd or 2nd on a lot of people's boards. They're the 2 names that people mention the most. Do you think either of them have any chance to take that number 1 spot from Cooper Flagg?
Yeah, I think Ace Bailey, and, obviously his name being Ace helps with him being a potential number 1 pick. It kind of feels like a hat on a hat.
It's a great name.
And a great name. And his real name is Air Bailey.
Bailey. Amazing.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he go by Air? Air Bailey to me. I don't get it.
It's a way better name. And when he actually got announced for the McDonald's All-American game, I did that announcement and I called him Air Bailey. And I had all these people coming after me in Georgia being like, "It's Ace Bailey, you idiot." And I was like, well, I saw Air. I went with Air. Sorry about that. So maybe he can go versatility. His B-ball reference, he can do Air or Ace. But regardless, he has the wingspan. He has the package of a superstar. He's the best shot maker in this class. If you watch the Ace Bailey game, the Ace Bailey experience is basically no. Oh my God, what a shot. You know what I mean? That is a lot of what Ace Bailey does. And I think you can take that one of 2 ways, which is like, wow, what an incredible shot maker. Or you can take it as, why is he having to take these really difficult shots? Which I think there's some coaches and scouts that probably would veer into that conversation. I do think he's very raw. I don't think he's you draft him, he can play tomorrow and actually help you win a game kind of guy. He's like, if you give me a 5-year runway and you say Washington Wizards, he's going to be our guy that we're going to invest our time in and he's going to turn into something, then he can be a superstar because he has all the makings of a superstar as far as hand size, shot creation, shot making ability, size, length, wingspan, he checks all these boxes, right? He's also, I feel like, mentally going to evolve so much. You know what I mean? He's still, like, if you talk to him, he's got kind of this childish almost joy to him where, it's fun to talk to him, fun to hear him talk about basketball. He's going to mature into himself and into his game as a basketball player. So I think Ace Bailey, there's going to be some people at the top that maybe talk themselves into Ace Bailey as being the guy. Dylan Harper, if you watch him,
right, he's on Bailey, 6'10", right. And he's, like you said, you described it perfectly. No, yes guy. Now,
tough shot maker.
I like Ace Bailey. I have him top 5 on my board, but the last game Rutgers lost 17 points on 17 shots. He barely got into the paint at all. He was only 6 of 17 from the field. He has only 1 assist on the season. And in the closing moments of that game, with a chance to win the game, he brought the ball up the floor, stopped his dribble at half court with a second defender shading towards him, and then he made the worst pass. Just telegraphed it to a teammate. Clearly was going to be intercepted, and it was. And I watched that, and I'm like, okay, I can see why he doesn't pass the ball. And I don't love the feel. I don't love the ability to get into the paint. He seems like one of those guys who is listed at 6'10", but he plays more like he's 6'5". And that's where my hesitations are with Ace Bailey. And I know he dealt with a hip flexor injury in preseason. Maybe that's limiting him. Super young, as you said, he will mature. There's a love for the game. You expect him with his size and ability to get way better over time. That's why he's still top 5 in a good draft class on my board. But I have my concerns with him. Whereas like with Dylan Harper, 6'6" guard, averaging 20 points, 5 boards a game, almost as much as his taller teammate, and 5 assists as well. Better feel. He's the type of guy that I think with his passing ability, he manipulates defenders. He gets into the paint. He knows how to go downhill. High IQ player who's a strong driver. He's a good finisher, good creator, really good defender. To me, Dylan Harper feels like the safer bet. But Ace Bailey's that higher upside bet between those 2 Rutgers prospects. I just don't think either of them are going to surpass Cooper Flagg. I just don't.
No, I don't think so either. But I will say Dylan Harper is that guy. And when you watch him play, and the reason why there will be a conversation about these two is because Dylan Harper today is a better player. The idea of what Ace Bailey can become, the potential versus the production, right? I mean, it's kind of the conversation we always have with draft picks. You know what I mean? It's like, do I like the guy who's already producing, or do I like the guy who has the package to one day be a potential franchise star? And we don't have many of those. And Ace Bailey has those things. You mentioned the end of that game against Kennesaw State. Dylan Harper was right there asking for the basketball, and he had 21 points, 9 assists in this game. It's a tough road game at Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State is coached by former Alabama assistant coach who played at Alabama, and you know what I mean, he understands big games and, you know, is trapping these guys. So Ace Bailey, freshman mistake. Cooper Flagg, freshman mistake. You know what I mean? We've seen our potential 2 number 1 picks make freshman mistakes, and they will learn from those mistakes, and they will be better for those mistakes. So if you're an NBA person, you're like, thank God they're making those mistakes not on my watch. You know what I mean? And I can see how they respond. Cooper Flagg, great response, goes to Arizona, gets a win. Ace Bailey, we'll see what he does in his next game to see what that response looks like. And I think that will also inform, you know, these guys are both top 5 picks. I just don't think they're the number 1 pick, because Cooper Flagg is going to be the number 1 pick.
For sure.